We're not really looking at a Middle Eastern war. We're not really looking at an Israel-Hamas war, for example. Israel's at war on 7 fronts, and in truth, that's not Israel that's at war on 7 fronts, it's the West. And there are many more than 7 fronts if you broaden it out that way. People complain about Britain being involved, America being involved, but they shouldn't, because it's unavoidable. Nobody wants to be in a state of war. I think you'll agree with that. I think nobody feels that war is the ideal way to live our day-to-day lives, but some things are worth going to war over. Some things need to be defended. And in a sense, I think that there is a sleepiness about us in the West, particularly here in Britain, that we don't really realise what's worth defending and what happens if you don't defend it. That's the point. I'm not somebody that's gung-ho about saying that anyone should go to war. Wars are horrible, and I've covered enough to know that. But I do recognise that if you sometimes don't fight for things that are important to you and to your society and to your values, then much worse happens. And in the long term, there's an awful lot to fight for. I think our values in this country are at threat from some of these forces which are more actively involved in the war in the Middle East, for example. They won't stop there. They haven't stopped there. They've come to us here. When it comes to, for example, Islamic extremism, which is what lies at the core and the heart of the war on Israel from Hamas, from Hezbollah, from Iran, it's already threatened us here. I stood outside Manchester Arena reporting from the bombing there after the Ariana Grande concert. I stood on London Bridge, not far from here, reporting on the terrorism that happened there. I've been to Brussels reporting on the terrorism that took place in Brussels. I stood outside the Bataclan for many hours reporting on that. These are recent examples in my adult life of the very same threat aimed at us. And I think that we need to take that far more seriously. And those are the things which I think we should all have in mind when we're choosing our government.
Yes.